Welcome back to Red Hawk Media. Today we're going to take a look at our lower thirds and how to animate them using keyframes. It's going to be a quick one today, so follow along. Down below here in my Final Cut project, I've got my background here of lower thirds from the previous tutorial actually. And then if I play this through, what I'm going to have is I'll have a lower third that just shows up and then stays on screen for a little bit. And that's a quick sample one that goes right back to the last tutorial. And of course you could do this a number of different ways for the animation to take place. Let's take a look at one particular example. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'm going to be working on the lower third clip, so I select that. I'm going to take this back to the first frame of the lower third. I know I'm on the first frame because of the bracket down in the corner here. And on that frame, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a keyframe. So I'm going to go ahead and just hide cropping here. Let's go to transform, and position is the main one that I'm going to be working under here. Okay. Now on the very first one, the very first frame, okay, I'm going to take this and position it so that it's off the screen. In order to do that, let's shrink our screen size down quite a bit here so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so now that I've selected my lower third here, I want to set up my first keyframe. Before I set the keyframe though, I want to position it to where I want it to start. I want this to be a simple animation where basically what happens is the lower third is just going to come on like this at the bottom. Okay, so I go ahead and I set the position. All I did was click on transform down here, and that lets me move this around. I shrunk my screen size down to a 12.5% so I can actually see what I'm doing here. And I get this all the way up to the side. Now, I'm doing this on the first frame of the clip. I know I'm on the first frame, not just because the playhead is there, but because I've got this big left bracket here showing me that that's the first frame. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, on position, hit the keyframe. Okay, and now let's go ahead and get forward to that first frame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to advance the playhead to the point where I want it to come in. So let's say just a quarter of the way into the clip here, it's going to be fully in, fully exposed. So I move the playhead there, then I grab this and I go ahead and drag it in. Now try very carefully to first off get everything lined up and get it in a straight line so that it comes in the way that you're looking for here. Okay, the red line indicates where it started from and where it's going to end up, so that's kind of a gauge of the movement that's going on there. And you've got your lower third animated on there. Let's go ahead and click done, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to see what that looks like. Go just a pinch beforehand. And now it comes in. Now that takes quite a while to come on. It's pretty dramatic animation. So all I would do is I'd go to that last keyframe, okay, and I could tell where I'm at on the keyframes because on the very last one I should have. Let's go up to transform. And let's get to the frame that we were on here. And we can take this left and right. Right there is my keyframe. Now, that takes entirely too long, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this keyframe. Okay, get rid of all those, in fact. And I'm going to move my playhead over so it comes in a lot faster. And now I drag it in. And we've got the full animation there. Get my red line nice and straight. And now we go ahead and try this out. So I move this back. And that's a little bit better. Of course, I'd shrink down my my timeline here and make that, or expand my timeline and make that a little bit faster because I still think it's a little slow. But you get the basic idea. If you're wondering just how to get the lower third on here in the first place, remember you can drag and drop anything. You can import media. I've got another sample one that I put together. Actually, here's one that we use from the from our wrestling event, and I saved it as a PNG, and I'm bringing that in now and just drag it on top, and you can see, let's get this up to a size where you can see what's going on here. You can see this is what we've got going on with our lower third here. Okay, so, and that's a little bit big here. There we go. You can see all of it. Alright, so then I would go through the same exact process. Find the first frame here, go to transform, take this, drag it out of the way. Of course, I'd shrink this down. And this time, I'm going to create a different animation on it. I'm going to create a wipe. So it's going to just come up from the bottom here, and it's just going to pop up there. So there's my first position, and then after, let's go ahead and hit a keyframe on the position, like so, and go forward. And now after so long, let's say right here, it's going to be fully up to its new position. So let's go ahead and bring that in and line up the frames so that it goes to its intended position. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. There it is. Let's see that a little bit larger here, and you get the idea. There it is. Okay, so that's how you can quickly keyframe your lower thirds. After you've created it, save it as a PNG, drag it in, create the keyframes on the first frame, and then the the frame that you want to actually end the animation on, and then it'll do a nice smooth transition in between there. If you want any other effects like a bounce or a shake or anything like that, that you would actually add on in the effects category, and that would be after you do the actual keyframing. So take a look at what you can do with that to make your lower thirds a little bit more interesting and animated to bring them in.